Constipation isn't one condition, and treating everyone the same is why so many people don't get better. Hi, I'm Emma Sutherland, clinical naturopath, author, and mum. I've been in clinical practice for over 20 years, and constipation is one of the most common reasons people come to see me, especially women and children. It's also one of the top search terms that brings people to my website, which tells me something very important. A lot of people are struggling and not getting clear answers. Today is part 1 of a 4-part series on functional constipation. And we're going to start with the foundations, because if we don't understand what kind of constipation someone has, the treatment often misses the mark. When we talk about functional constipation, we're describing constipation without a structural disease. No tumour, no obstruction, no inflammatory bowel disease. But that doesn't mean that nothing is wrong. Functional constipation is a disorder of gut function, how the gut moves, coordinates, senses, and responds to signals from the brain and the nervous system. Research describes it as heterogeneous, multifactorial, and highly individual, which is a polite scientific way of saying there is no one-size-fits-all cause or solution. Many people are told, if you're not going at least 3 times a week, then you're constipated. But here's the problem with that statement. Research shows that up to 40% of people diagnosed with constipation actually go 3 times a week or more, but they feel a sense of incomplete emptying, straining, hard stools, bloating, or abdominal discomfort. One large study found that stool form, what your poo actually looks like, is a better indicator of slow gut transit than frequency alone. So yes, you can go every day but still be constipated. This is where the naturopathic lens becomes super important. Research consistently classifies constipation into 3 main subtypes. The first is normal transit constipation, which is the most common. The bowel moves at a normal speed, but the stool is dry or hard, evacuation feels incomplete, and there's often pain or bloating. These people often respond to fibre, but not always. The second type is slow transit constipation. This is where the colon itself moves sluggishly. These patients often say, I just don't get the urge, or I could go days without feeling anything. Here's the key clinical point though. These people often do worse on a high fibre diet. The last type of constipation is defecation or evacuation disorders. This is a coordination issue. The stool reaches the rectum, but the muscles and nerves don't relax properly to actually let it out. These patients often strain a lot, feel blocked, and often have pelvic floor dysfunction. Fibre alone really fixes this, and many people actually have more than one subtype at the same time. It's very complex. Now, in clinic, I'm not just asking my patients, how often do you have a bowel motion? No. I'm looking at so many factors that can drive constipation. I want to know your stool form and consistency, and I use the Bristol stool chart to check this with my patients. My little patients find this hysterically funny, which I really love. I also want to know if there's straining or urgency. I want to know if there's a sense of complete evacuation, or if there's any bloating or pain patterns, what the diet history is and the tolerance to fibre, your hydration, your nervous system tone, anxiety levels, hormones, medications, and stress levels. I also really consider gut-brain signaling. How well is the nervous system communicating with the gut? And then we want to look at microbiome patterns. Is there an overgrowth of yeast or bacteria that affects the gut motility? We want to know, is there methane-producing bacteria? These are notorious for causing constipation. And I also want to know if there's any food sensitivities which can cause inflammation and affect those stool patterns. This is why 2 people with constipation need completely different treatment plan. Now, one of the most important findings in constipation research is this. People with normal transit constipation respond well to fibre about 85% of the time. People with slow transit or defecation disorders respond poorly or get worse. So if someone tells me, I've tried fiber, it made me so bloated and uncomfortable, my response isn't, we'll just try harder. It's, let's work out why. In the next episode, I'm going to walk you through dietary strategies for constipation, including when high fiber actually helps, when low fiber is actually therapeutic. We're going to talk about cow's milk, gluten, and hydration, because diet can be powerful when it's matched to the right constipation subtype. If constipation has been an ongoing issue for you or your child and nothing seems to work long-term, that's often a sign the underlying mechanism hasn't been properly investigated or addressed. Thanks for being with me today. Don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button below, and check out all the links in the show notes for more health empowering information. I look forward to seeing you in part 2.